Okay, so here's the homework from last night. Please, if you want to skip forward to the answer and see if you got it right each time, then do so. And if you got it wrong, you can always go back and check. So the first thing is find the midpoint of the line segment joining these 2 points. You got 5, 1 and 3, 3. So we know that midpoint M equals the x's added up together. So 5 plus 1 divided by 2, and then the y's added up together, 1 plus 3 divided by 2, and 6 over 2 is 3, and 1 plus 3 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. So there's the midpoint. That should be fairly straightforward. Question 2, find the distance between the points 1, 3 and 6, 2. And we know that the distance formula has a square root in it. So we want x2 minus x1, doesn't matter which way we go around, so we can do, for the sake of staying away from nasty negatives, 6 minus 1 squared. And then we do the same for the y's. We can do 2 minus 3, go the same way each time. So we went from this point here to that point there. So 6 minus 1 is 5, square it, 25, plus 2 minus 3 is negative 1, and negative 1 squared is 1. So we get the answer root 26. I think if you want to go to decimal, which you can, you get 5.1 as your answer. Question 3, find the slope this time. Well, slope has a formula of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And again, we have to go the same way each time. So we'll go from this line here to that one. So y2 minus y1 will be 10 minus 7. And x2 minus x1 will be the 4 minus 6. So we get 10 minus 7 is 3. And 4 minus 6, negative 2. So we put that negative in the middle as negative 3 over 2. Okay, so that's the 3 equations out of the way. Now we've got to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of these two. If we were to draw it out, 5, 8 is somewhere up here. That's 5, 8. And 2 zeros about there. So the first thing is find the midpoint of the line joining these two. So we're going to find the midpoint. So midpoint is, add the x's up, 5 plus 2, and divide by 2, and 8 plus 0, and divide by 2. So the midpoint is going to be 7 over 2, comma 4, because 5 plus 2 is 7, 8 plus 0 is 8. Then we're going to find the slope of that line there, the blue line given. And that's going to be y2 minus y1, so 8 minus 0. Go the same way for the x's, 5 minus 2. Not very nice numbers, 8 thirds. So we know the slope now of the perpendicular line. The perpendicular line is going to run like this here at right angles. Put that right angle in. And the slope of the perpendicular line will be the negative reciprocal of this one, and you've got to turn it upside down and change the sign so it becomes negative 3/8. Now we want to find the equation of that red line, and we know we got y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope. And how do we find b? Sub for the point we know it goes through, which is the midpoint up here. 7 over 2, comma 4. Well, 7 over 2 is the x value, 4 is the y value. Therefore, we get 4 equals negative 3 over 8 times 7 over 2. This is not very nice, is it? Plus b. So that becomes negative 21 over 16. So 4 equals negative 21 over 16 plus b. And b works out to be This is 64 over 16 here, thinking about pizzas, 16 pieces to one piece, so 64 plus 21 is 85 over 16. I'm not sure I like that answer. Therefore, the final answer is y equals negative 3 over 8x plus 85 over 16. Final question here's triangle PQR. Let's just draw it out. So we've got Q up there, P up there, and R there. The question says find median PM. It's got to find the equation of median PM, and M is going to be the midpoint of QR. So M will be the point. Take Q and R and find the midpoint. Well, it's going to be 2 plus 10 over 2, comma 6 plus 6 over 2. So 2 plus 10 is 6. Sorry, 2 plus 10 is 12, divided by 2 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So now we've got to find the equation of the line between the points 7, 1 and 6, 6. So we know the slope of that line is going to be y2 minus y1, so 6 minus 1 over 6 minus 7, which is negative 5. So the slope of this line is negative 5, and therefore we know that y equals negative 5x plus b. And to find b, we're going to sub for the point we know it goes through, which we know it goes through either 6, 6 or 7, 1. Let's sub it for 6, 6. And therefore y equals 6, negative 5 times 6 plus b. That's a 6, not a b. This is negative 30, add 6, b is 36. So the equation of that median is y equals negative 5x plus 36.